good. You ladies know how to celebrate. That's good, because you're going to be doing a lot of celebrating this evening. That's what we got lined up tonight. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to talk about something that I find really fascinating. Now, what I find fascinating is this, the public stage. This one, in this case, is about maybe 5 feet long, perhaps a foot and a half tall. It's just a thing. It's not a big deal. But why do so many people fear standing on the public stage and speaking from this place? If you look throughout time, if you look throughout the history of our civilization, you will see that there has been one thing that has been extremely consistent in the launch of leaders in our world, and that is the public stage. It is the inception point. It is the source. It is the launching pad for leadership in our culture. And yet so many people fear public speaking, for many even more than they do dying. Have many of you heard this kind of widely known statement that many people fear public speaking more than they do death? Yeah, what is that? It's fascinating. And yet I believe that it is imperative, that it is crucial for women to claim the public stage if we are to truly see an upswell, an amplification in women's voices and in women's leadership in our world. How many of you have heard this statement by the Dalai Lama, something that he said in 2009? He said that the world will be saved by the Western woman. Have you heard this? Yeah. Amazing statement. But I believe that there is something very important to add to this statement. I believe that the world will be saved by the Western woman who speaks up. Yes. And so with this belief, it is my personal mission in life to support women in unleashing the brilliance of their voices and claiming their space on the public stage. However, it seems that there is this huge obstacle standing in the way of this, which is this huge fear of public speaking. And so how do we surmount that? How do we change that? How do we create a completely revolutionized experience of what it means to get up and take the stage and own your voice and change the world? I believe that it's going to take looking at, okay, what is the source of some of this fear, and is it true? Is it true? Be in a space of inquiry about it. Now, in my journey, I have really come to see there's several distinctions that I think that can get people in a space of feeling held back from getting up and taking the stage and sharing their voice. And I want to share with you a couple of them tonight, and some things that I feel are ways that we can transform them, and that we can have fun with them, and support women in experiencing the freedom and the joy that is available from getting up on the stage and just giving your voice. It is awesome to give in this way. It is awesome. And the world is so hungry for it. So there's two things that I really see as first as things that we can really look at and address in the situation at hand. Okay? One is, what is this fear, this thing we call fear of public speaking? What is this thing that occurs when we go to get on stage or get in front of a video camera or lead a workshop or even send out a blog post or whatever it is? Especially with public speaking or getting in front of a video camera, this experience of being seen can just create the most intense sensations inside of our bodies. Does anybody feel this about public speaking or getting in front of a video camera? Anybody relate to what I'm talking about, this nervousness, this fear? I have it so intense. It has been this experience of feeling so afraid, and so afraid of being rejected, the shame that can come up in that, the fear of being alienated by people, of being looked at as an idiot. has been a source of enormous struggle and pain for me in my life. It has held me back from getting my voice out into the world. It has held me back from sharing my brilliance, the things inside of me that so long to be shared. And that internal struggle has been a source of incredible suffering. And the more that I've talked with women, I realize that I'm not alone in this experience. This is a common experience amongst people. And so what I want to look at is, let's look at the situation. What is going on with this feeling inside of our body that we call fear when you're about to go on stage or get in front of a video camera? And what I want to propose as a possibility is that maybe it's not fear. Maybe this is the feeling of your power. Maybe this is what it feels like to have your entire being hooked up, plugged in to the voltage of the universe, getting ready to come through and speak as you to the world. Maybe this is what that feels like. And we've just so misidentified it for so long that we have tried to make it go away or try to shove it down or get over it or conquer it or all these other things. Maybe we can learn to party with it. Maybe before we go on stage or before we get in front of the video camera, we can have an experience of, woo! I'm ready. I'm on. I just got switched on. Someone just flipped the switch. Yeah? That would be really different. So that is one, is the big reframe around this, is how do we then begin to look at this experience of resistance, shame, fear, all these things that are so intense in our body. Kind of a minute, step away from our stories about what they mean and look at the evidence. It's like, wow, I got a ton of chi going on. And now, how can I be masterful with it? How can I learn how to use it so that I can give most fully? And that's one of the things that I've been working with these women on, is one, having a perspective shift around this experience of fear, nausea, huge nervousness before getting on this stage. And we work on things like creating what I call their pre-stage ritual, which are the things that they can do to really move their awareness and their attention in such a way that they actually use this energy and they move it in their body in such a way that they feel more calm, they feel more grounded, and their body and their mind relaxes and they get into a space that is the ultimate environment for their voice to just come out fully. And that's one of the things that we've been working on. That is something they have been practicing, and I must say, have been becoming extremely masterful at. And the second thing that I want to share with you is something that I see as something that is really intense, that only as a woman do I know this. I'm not a man, so I can't relate to what that experience is, but as myself, I know that for me, another core part of suffering in my life has been believing that somehow, if another woman really shines and succeeds in the world, that I may not be doing enough. That I may look at a dear friend who is just rocking it. She's just launched a book, she's going on speaking tours, she's getting famous, all this stuff. And I look at her and I'm really happy for her, but there's still some part of me that's like, my mind goes to, oh God, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good, people don't like me. It just goes into a tailspin. It's as if there is a scarcity on shining on this planet. Does anybody else experience this? Yeah, even though there could be, and I experience this, I have the most amazing, celebrative, extraordinary women friendships. I absolutely celebrate the glory of women in my life. And there is also still a place where my mind goes that thinks that I am somehow not doing enough. And there is a sense of competition that gets in that space. There is a sense of feeling down and self-doubt about myself. And the more that I have come out and shared about this with women, I realize this is a very common experience. And I've come to see that in this world, what I want to share about, what is it that maybe in some way holding back the incredible surge of the brilliance of women in leadership. And I think that has been happening so much in the last few generations in our country and around the world. Absolutely. And there is so much more opportunity to go even further. What is it that might be a little bit like a stalemate on that? And I really see that I believe there is a bit of a silent war going on around the planet between women. That somehow this sense of competition, and if another woman shines, I may not be doing enough. This sense of not feeling enough. Not really, even though you love your friend so much, if she shines a little bit, there's just this little, like, begrudging, just a little, or a little, it's not a full celebration and party because I'm feeling bad about myself in some way. And this silent war, I think, that's going on is a huge thing. I think it's one of the things, as I've spoken with so many women about this, and it's so true of myself, that the experience of if I go out there and I shine, will I lose my women friends? Will I lose this love in my life? And that love, honestly, is my highest value. And so what do you do when you're at war with something that you could lose to something that you value the most in your life? And I believe that it is this thing that goes on in this silent way between women, that if we can revolutionize that, we can see a surge unlike anything this world has ever seen before in women feeling the freedom, the full throttle to get their voices out there. And so tonight, what we're going to play with tonight is that we are going to become what I call the fertile listening for these women, yes? The kind of listening that so celebrates them. That so the minute she gets up on the stage, man, you look at her, she is already won. Yeah? You see her perfection. You see the beauty of what is happening right here. Wow, this is a woman blossoming right before my eyes. What a flippin' miracle. And that we can step into a space of celebrating these women as opposed to the kind of thinking that's like critical, a little judgmental. Those thoughts might come up. They do. That's the mind. Yeah, that happens. But then we can choose to come back to really finding, acknowledging and celebrating them. Now, I have a woman in my life that has been a profound teacher for me. If you don't know who she is, I highly recommend you know her. Her name is Regina Thomasauer. She's the founder of Mama Gina's School of Womanly Arts in New York City. And I've learned many things from this woman. One of the things that I've learned from her is something she once said, is that men really grow through being challenged. They love that. They really grow through being challenged and acknowledged, absolutely. They really love that challenge. That women really blossom through being celebrated. Isn't it true? Yes. Didn't you just love to be celebrated? And you're like, yeah, it's so right. I am fabulous. That we can celebrate someone and be like, wow, you are amazing. That was amazing. And then we can say, you know what I would love to see to make that even better? We can give feedback like that in our life. That kind of relationship and communication is so available to us. And so tonight, I would love for you all to step into the space of the most extraordinary audience of these women's dreams. And when they come out here to give their speech, and they walk out there and I announce their name, that they get a standing ovation right from the very beginning. Okay? Standing ovation right from the very beginning. And when they leave, they get a standing ovation, whether they got up here and they remembered everything that they wanted to say, or they got up here and they were like, I have no idea what I was about to say. Could happen. It happens all the time. But that we can show them how profoundly loved they are by the women in their lives, by having the gumption, by having the courage and the depth of commitment to whatever it is that they are up to doing in this world, to get up here and say it is so. So here's what I would love for you to do. We're going to do a practice round. I can already tell you guys are really good celebrators. So here's what we're going to do, okay? You're going to be getting on your feet a little bit this evening. I know you probably thought you were going to come here and sit all the time, but I know ladies like to be moving around. So what we're going to do is I would love to practice on the count of 3. We're going to do it one more time. You're going to stand up and give an awesome standing ovation. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Love the clap hands. Yeah. We got some pro cheerleaders over here. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. All right, so that is the deal tonight. They come out, they get a standing ovation. They go off, they get a standing ovation. Awesome. And I asked them, I was like, what would be the audience of their dreams? They're like, God, if I could just know they love me. You know, and that's the thing, we like get all this fear about public speaking, and really it comes from like thinking the audience is mean or going to judge us, reject us. And it's like, wow, we can totally switch that up and really step into the possibility that sharing our voices with the world, however we choose to do it, on the public stage, on video camera, however that is, can be joyful, and that we can find enormous freedom and fulfillment in it. Thank you all for being here. I am delighted to connect with you, and I am so excited to introduce to you the first graduating class. The first graduating class of the School of the Well-Spoken Woman.